Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I found this at the Hawkins house. The doses seem insane.
Barbiturates. But these doses...
What do you mean?
Half the island is under treatment. What is prescribed here, however, is enough to knock out an ox.
Fuller wrote this prescription to fool everyone into believing she was mad.
Or perhaps her husband wrote it.
Perhaps Charles and Dr. Fuller were in league.
A conspiracy. How dreadful.
How dreadful.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
Because you're a
You
plant,
really think she's
Bradley.
involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
I shouldn't have brought
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Mm-hmm. I'll bet they are. Pod person.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders? I'm a private
Do you think she's
detective.
middle class too?
We must talk about her
She
husband.
definitely seems like
Ties
she's
to
middle
Sarah
class.
Hawkins.
For
Can
sure.
I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
Definitely middle class.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker.
You know, Irene, honey,
This way, Mr. Pierce.
this is all well and good, but
And do
first
make
we need to
yourself
fix the cut of that dress. It's
It
not
would
flattering
seem
on
that
you.
You have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Her ring looks like a bill of money.
Of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You,
Really?
on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
He started raving, screaming that a dimensional shambler had found him.
Oh, mercy, that story again. Why have him interned?
That was when he began to convulse and twist with pain. Or terror, it's hard to tell.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not really sure of what I saw, or what I didn't see. But it's best that you weren't there.
I should have been there. What you're telling me is outrageous. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute?
Yeah.
And right before your eyes.
A reputed
Did you not
institute
do
in
anything to help
1924. In the United States. Oh, hell yeah.
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
You
Then
have everything to
paid
lose.
no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long. Did she really care for him after all?
I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body to you. At the moment of his interment, you signed a discharge allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. I extend my deepest condolences to you, Thomas Fuller.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
He really loved that painting, didn't he? You notice she's so much closer to it than she is. Oh.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Maybe even closer.
A house of artists. A house of artists.
Yeah, notice this piano is actually looking nice instead of the other one, which looked terrible. Come on.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
Was that the one she gave away for free?
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? He didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated.
How do you know? How do you know that?
She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why?
Why do you think? He's obsessed.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Gas gangrene to trench nephritis. This sounds like a fun book. And I'm not actually being, I'm not actually joking here. I do actually, I would probably read that book. That sounds like fun.
I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Called it. Dear Francis, I beg you to give up all hope of ever owning this accursed painting. If our friendship has any meaning for you, please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the Shambler. Well, I mean, it can be hard to burn a painting like that, but you can still do it.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Like, she didn't have to give it to him. Worries about strange dreams. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Nice.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
You know, it's amazing, sir, that you know this is Amerindian. Oh, I get it. American Indian. I don't think I've ever heard it called Amerindian before. That's really interesting. That's fascinating. I'm gonna have to look up that term. I was just gonna say, it's interesting that he was using a specific term for something when he keeps calling everything primitive. Because he's just, I don't know, he's kind of being an asshole. I don't know the right word for it, whether it's bigoted or what. Where'd she go? There she is. Oop. Hey! New ways of exploring human anatomy. Okay. Would I? Sure, what is it? Yeah. Yeah, in this world they do. Bad beasts. Encyclopedia of Bad Beasts. Oh. Uh-oh. Not good.
That's
Hello?
twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I'll do it again
I've got
right
a
now.
lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
None of your goddamn business, ma'am.
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
Cool.
All's fair in love and war, I suppose?
And for us, it's both. Uh-oh. Why am I able to hide in here? That's not good.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Yeah, he certainly has a lot of, you know, there are some things that are collector's pieces, and then there are things that are just, you know, you start collecting occult things and you're just inviting trouble. And I don't mean trouble, I mean like full-blown demonic. Copper? You need a thorough oiling down. I don't actually mean that as a sexual way. I mean, like, I want to clean this. It's beautiful. I love the Cthulhu mother and child. Yeah, this guy... Be funny if we could do an in-game tour of the museum.
The public entrance to the gallery.
Oh, it's a real gallery. How interesting that there's eye gouging. Yeah, creepy fried steak.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Glowing Greek. Ew. Are we almost there? Is one of these
The
gonna
man
come to life?
transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Like, I don't want this head chasing me. Get away from it. I can smell you. It's good that he hasn't looked at it yet.
What the hell was that?
Keep your mouth shut, bud. What the hell am I doing here? Yep. Maybe we just need to weigh it out? I don't think so.
Yeah. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Nope. Gosh dang it.
dagger part of Sanders' collection? Or was he seeking to? Damn. This dagger looks different.
Oh.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
It's nothing. I think I just drank too much.
That goes without saying. If you can't tell the difference between reality and fiction, then you're in real trouble.
I ran, screamed, broke a pane of glass. You were in the next room and you didn't hear a thing.
If I hadn't heard a thing, I'd still be in the other room. The door was blocked. I got in as soon as I could. I like to look after my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
The creature. This dagger was the only weapon capable of pushing it back. If Hawkins was trying to get rid of this Shambler, she might have made contact with Drake. This antique dealer has a good knowledge of the occult. I have nothing to lose by meeting him.
You've got your spunk back. Go where you want. I'm staying here to talk business with Irene.
Destroy the painting. God, it took me so long to do, and I had to go to this random Reddit post that was helpful and a little unhelpful, but helpful nonetheless. And I got killed so many times. It drove me nuts. Oh my God. There was the piece of paper behind the painting that told you which dagger to use. Had to hunt for the dagger and then stab the painting. Not the monster, the painting. Just such a pain in the ass. I don't know why we didn't talk to this guy in the first place. Because he was spouting
Where's
the
the
things that we
bookseller?
were exactly talking about when we were walking through the bar.
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams.
Yeah, I'm not
It's the work
interested in
that
listening
laid
to
the
Freud right
foundations
now.
of psychoanalysis at the beginning.
Was it cocaine that Freud was on? That guy, like... Man, he needed his own therapist, because that man, there were some things that he was doing good with, and there were other things that he just really, really needed to work through.
Its followers placed truth
That's
on the
great.
same footing as a religion.
Yes?
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
Don't they all? Dissection. Yeah, well, I'm just a little bit pissed off after dealing with that monster.
What happened here?
What didn't happen here?
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work. Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably. This burglar seems to be rather clumsy. What killed all these? What sort of thief leaves his tool? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the? Charles Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case. Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe. Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them. A kind of chalice.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them. And these red drops, like precious stones. Volume
Queen
9,
has little protection.
Azathoth and Other Horrors seemed particular.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake... What did Drake say about this collection?
To know its secret.
The Chalice of Knowledge. The Queen has little protection.
focused so long on figuring out whether we could that we didn't think about whether we should. Shouldn't be opening this book.